Did Google's demo showing off its flashy new Gemini AI model seem almost too good to be true? Were you blown away when Gemini instantly recognized doodles and hand gestures, correctly ordered planets, and responded to voice commands on the fly? Well, turns out that slick 5-minute video that wowed over 1 million viewers was totally staged. Those jaw-dropping multimodal intelligence feats, they were faked for the cameras. Welcome back to AI Bulletin Board. Let's dig into this controversy. To find out the truth, multiple reporters have now confirmed those jaw-dropping feats in the Gemini demo video were essentially staged. The interactions were faked to make Gemini seem smarter than it actually is. Now don't get me wrong, Gemini is still an incredibly promising AI system, but it's clear Google cherry-picked the footages to hype up its skills beyond their current level. And that's raising bigger questions around AI marketing versus reality, how we can improve trust and transparency in AI development. Sound good? Great, let's dig in. Alright, first things first. What made this Gemini video so darn impressive in the first place? Well, it showed off a bunch of Gemini's multimodal abilities in quick succession. We're talking identifying hand gestures, recognizing doodles, responding to verbal instructions, all in real time. I mean, at one point, Gemini correctly orders the planets just from someone's messy hand-drawn sketches. Wild stuff. But soon after its release, some reporters started getting suspicious. Like, why does it all seem so smooth and snappy? Could an AI really juggle all those modalities, vision, language, sound, so easily all at once? And so they began investigating exactly how that 5-minute video was made. Lo and behold, Gemini wasn't juggling those tasks nearly as effortlessly as it seemed. It turns out that whole demo was pre-planned and stitched together after the fact. Those interactions were simulated by people first, then Gemini was fed cropped images and text descriptions to generate its clever responses. Basically, Google prompted Gemini behind the scenes in very specific ways, got its best results, then edited everything to seem quick and conversational. Talk about smoke and mirrors. In reality, Gemini likely can't perform a lot of those feats rapidly in real time like shown. Things had to be simplified and optimized a ton. For example, to instantly identify rock, paper, scissors from a series of hand signals. Yep, that's beyond Gemini right now. It actually needs to see all options clearly laid out, then be told this is a game first. And ordering planets accurately from messy sketches. Gemini wasn't figuring that out itself. Its written prompts literally said, identify the celestial objects by their relative distances from the sun. They were hardcore holding its hand. Now again, Gemini does seem to have strong reasoning abilities in certain contexts. But that slick video clearly exaggerated its readiness and ease in making intuitive leaps across vision, language, speech, and more. So why does something like this even matter? Companies showcase technology in ideal settings all the time. What's the big deal? Well, for starters, it massively misleads developers and gets people's hopes up about capabilities that don't really exist yet. Imagine trying to build applications for a Gemini-like intelligence today. You'd be severely let down. It also hurts Google's credibility. If their demo highlighting the latest and greatest AI is mostly smoke and mirrors, what else are they exaggerating? Now everyone's side-eyeing their claims. And broadly, it contributes to a growing sense of distrust around AI marketing versus reality. We see it constantly. Ambitious announcements followed by delays, disappointments, and walkbacks on capabilities. Remember how self-driving cars were supposed to hit roads years ago? Or how cheatbots would revolutionize customer service instead of just infuriating people? When marketers consistently overpromise on next-gen technology, it progressively erodes public confidence over time. Think the boy who cried wolf. Eventually no one believes you, even when telling the truth. And that could really hurt innovative technologies like AI. If people grow weary and assume nothing lives up to the hype, they tune out all the actual progress being made. Not to mention funding dollars start drying up. Investors don't want to keep betting on a hype cycle roller coaster. They want measured progress and realistic roadmaps. Basically, while flashy demos might capture attention short-term, they can backfire hard long-term. Now, obviously, Google has incentives here too. As an advertising giant, they know eyeballs equal money. If Gemini demos generate tons of views, buzz, and funding today, maybe they'll actually catch up tomorrow. I get it, but there are smart ways to showcase vision while still managing expectations. And that's really what Google failed at here. For starters, they could have clearly highlighted when interactions were pre-planned versus live. Maybe use a split screen showing people acting things out first. Clarify which outputs were handpicked from 100 tries rather than first attempts. They could even display the detailed, written prompts and parameters prepared for Gemini alongside its responses. Give us peeks behind the curtain. And they definitely should have stressed that most of the capabilities shown represent end goals for Gemini after years more development, not what it can smoothly do on day one. Basically, transparency is key. Don't just show us the highlights, give us the bloopers too. Demonstrate actual average use cases instead of perfectly set up scenarios. Highlight current limitations and challenges needed to reach that slick future state. Celebrate incremental wins and concrete progress markers. Prototype early, even if rough around the edges. That inspires patience and confidence, much more than over-promising perfection out the gates. Think about a rocket launch. We get hyped seeing incremental successes, launching new heights. Not some fake CGI video promising a moon landing today. Makes sense, presentation matters so much when managing revolutionary technology expectations. Be future-forward in imagination, but grounded in reality too. As AI figures like Andrew Ng often say, beware dismissing AI due to over-promising short-term, but also underestimating it long-term, when steady progress compounds over decades. So let's take a balanced view here. While Google clearly exaggerated Gemini's current capabilities for hype, I still believe assistants like Gemini represent the future. Its multimodal approach seems highly flexible and scalable over enough time and data. Rather than fixating on if Gemini itself reaches some lofty demo-level intelligence, I think it's smarter to pay attention to the rapid incremental innovations happening across AI every single day now. Those compounding gains in areas like computer vision, robust speech processing, causal reasoning, common sense knowledge, and beyond will eventually make demos like that real instead of simulated. But Google carving Gemini into some perfect savant today makes as little sense as proclaiming to offer self-driving rides across the country next week with no track record. I'd so much rather see demos evolve gradually in step with actual functionality. Celebrate milestones like correctly identifying 5 objects rather than 500 if that's the current capability. Gain trust through transparency. It breeds patience. So I hope Google learns from this backlash and rethinks its approach. Gates, Jobs, Musk. History remembers the visionaries who mastered expectation setting and strategic unveils aligned to reality. Do you think Google was justified in presenting an exaggerated demo of Gemini's capabilities if it helps generate momentum and investment in the technology, or does overstating current abilities ultimately undermine public trust and set unrealistic expectations? Let me know in the comments section. That wraps up our analysis on the controversy surrounding Google's Gemini demo video. While showcasing profound progress in multimodal AI, the exaggerated depictions undermine trust in responsible development and marketing of these potentially transformative technologies. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the AI Bulletin Board YouTube channel for the latest news and level-headed perspectives on emerging AI systems. We aim to cut through the hype and highlight both the amazing possibilities and current limitations in artificial intelligence.